ClintonPortis26.com. That's his website. Or you can go to Twitter, the real C. Portis, who joins us now. Former NFL running back. Clinton, how you been? Been a while.
I'm good, Dan. What's going on?
Not much, just putting in a day's work, as I always do. But I saw your name coming up in this concussion lawsuit. And your reaction when you heard Dan Marino was joining you as a plaintiff against the NFL. What did you think?
Well, I think for everybody, and speaking for everyone in the case, I think it was excitement to have Dan come aboard. And, I think it was all of a sudden like, ooh, you get that sense of immediate, something happened immediately. And, a day later, it's like, I'm pulling out. I think when you look at Dan and how big Dan is and how much he's done for this league, that someone had to reach out or talk to him. I don't think he knew of the exposure that would come from joining this lawsuit, and I'm sure he didn't want all the attention that came with it. So I can understand.
Why did you get involved?
Well, for myself, I think in the beginning it was just I didn't think of the financial gains as ASAP. It was brought to me as long term and trying to save the people who were already at an end. The people that needed help and couldn't afford to have it done and everything else. So when it was brought to me, I think it was more of just being honest and sharing my experience and what happened. I don't think it came as an idea of, this could be so mega and going to make us so rich sometime soon. I think for myself and a lot of the current players or just recently retired players, if you look at the complications needed to receive money, I don't want to have any of those complications. I don't want to be at an end in life where I'm thinking about blowing my head off and trying to make do and trying to figure out how to make ends meet. So I hope I can never be or receive the money that's available because I don't want those conditions.
How concerned are you that you could eventually have those symptoms?
I mean, that's life. You can't worry about tomorrow. I think in being a praying man and knowing that everything is left in God's hands, I think I'll be okay. I hope to be okay, but I can't figure out tomorrow. So I just hope and pray that I don't end up in those situations or one day depressed and down and out and can't take it and act impulsive or instinctively and do as others have done. So, I don't ever want my situation to be that bad, and I try to stay active and participate in everything so that I'm never in a dark corner or feel like I'm outcasted in the world and don't have a way out.
But is it a fair question? We're talking to former NFL running back Clinton Portis. Would it be a fair question for the judge to ask the 4,000 players? If I ask you to remain anonymous, but would you do it all over again? Would you play, knowing what you know now, how many players out of the 4,000 do you think would say no, they would not do it again?
I think we would all do it again. I think once you're involved in professional athletics, I mean the competition, the drive, that's the only thing that you can compete at that level. And I think that's a drive and a high that most people go through life experiencing drugs and everything else to get. And I think for every Sunday or Monday or Thursday night that you step on that field or knowing that the whole world is dependent on you or everybody that's cheering for your team is dependent on you, that's a high you can't replace. And, for a lot of people that haven't played sports and haven't participated in higher up competition, it is like, you go through drugs, you go through so much other stuff, hoping to get that challenge, hoping to find that competition. And this is a sport that you dig so deep to be the best, and everybody on the field want to be the best, and you want to give your all, and you want to be accountable, and you can't find that anywhere else. I don't care what job you look at outside of sports, you can't find that. So I think a lot of the guys would do it again.
How many concussions do you think you had?
I don't know. I mean, I know I can recall quite a few. When you look and say concussions or stingers, or
Bell
when
rung?
you thought you had cobwebs and had your bell rung, and just moments that I can say I blacked out. You get up to at least over 10, but at the time, you go shake it off, and it's like, man, I got to miss a series that I don't even want to miss this one series, but I can't get my focus and my visual back that I want to be on the field so bad to compete with my teammates and help them out. So I think when you look at it, it happens often. And I still look, and watching football today, man, and I love the game of football. And, watching the game, I could see guys that's out, and everybody can't judge that, but I could tell when a guy is unconscious or shaken up, and got his bell rung, and all of a sudden he gets the opportunity to stay in the game because he didn't lay on the field or someone grabbed him or picked him up. When your body go limp, that means you're concussed. So I watch the game now, and I see that happening. You look in basketball, and you just seen it happen to Paul George, and he got in and continued to play, but I don't think he was right after that point of hitting his head on the floor. So it happens. It can happen in anything.
You're a former Redskin. I think you spent 7 of your 9 years there. If you own the team, do you keep that nickname?
Well, I think when you look at it, I think looking at both perspectives, I understand the history and I understand the complaint. So when you look at it saying that I'm a Redskin, bleeding burgundy and gold, I love the franchise, to lose that name and that value of saying the Washington Redskins, what do you change? Do you say the Washington Skins, or is that still disrespectful? I think to lose that name and that shield and that honor of saying Redskins, but I can understand the complaints. I can understand the people who feel like that name should be changed, and I think that's a decision Mr. Snyder and Bruce Allen will have to come up with and make soon. Now that Congress has gotten involved, and so many people pushing and everything else that happened with the Clippers and just throughout sports today, I think it's going to have to take some kind of action.
Just to give people an idea of how great you were, certainly those first 4 years in the league, unbelievable. Most yards, first 4 seasons. This is all-time rushing yards. Eric Dickerson, number 1. Earl Campbell, number 2. Terrell Davis, number 3. Clinton Portis, number 4. Almost 6,000 yards after those first 4 years. Man, that's good company, dude.
Yeah, it is. I think just to have that luxury. I had 2 wonderful years in Denver. I had a great career in D.C. I had 4 great years, 4 great years in D.C. The other 3 years were all IR, and just to look at my career and say, well, I actually played 7.5 full seasons, or 7.5 seasons, if you really do the math with games, and to be just shy of 10,000 yards and have the accomplishments. I'm appreciative, man. I think football done so much for me and my family, and gave me so many opportunities to meet people that I never thought I would meet. And,
but it bothers me, though. You're at 9,923 yards. Like, what part of you says, damn, couldn't I get up to 10 grand? I mean, 10 grand at 75 touchdowns. Does that bother you?
It do now. I think when I first walked away from the game, it was just not fulfilling anymore. And I think now that you sit back and realize 77 yards away, one good game, one big carry of giving your all, and you at 77 yards, and you go to the sideline and pull everything off and wave to the fans again. So I really just can't look back. I think it would have been a great feat, but I think walking away from the game at the time that I did, and I don't feel ashamed of anything, or I don't feel like I missed out on anything. And I think so many records are meant to be broken, it's going to happen someday for some guy. It's just not going to be me.
I'm going to wrap this up by telling you about a draft party we had a couple of years ago. And one of my guys, one of the Danettes, McLovin, was so sure that you were at our drafts at the draft party right before the NFL draft. Well-dressed guy with glasses and a bow tie. And McLovin kept saying, that's Clinton Portis over there. That's Clinton Portis over there. I said, why would Clinton Portis be at our drafts at the draft party? And so would you let us know, would you confirm or deny, were you at the drafts at the draft party a couple of years ago, Clinton?
I actually was. I actually was.
Okay.
Look at that.
All right. Well, then you look good, man. I stand corrected, and I appreciate you, man, clearing that up. For years I've been yelling at McLovin that he embarrassed us because I said that wasn't Clinton Portis. So, McLovin, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I actually was, man. I think that was me.
All right. Well, hey, great to talk to you again, and good luck, all right?
All right, man. I'll take care.
All right, Clinton Portis. ClintonPortis26.com. This is website.